Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're all force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good morning. There's Joe. There's Fred. Here's me. Other Ken has got some doctor making him do physical therapy and torturing him. And Sal Rosenberg, we mean Will Vogel, he may be on at some point this morning. Joe, you're still muted. So we'll see. You know, Joe, I was saying before we went live, as you were bringing up the Jerky Boys. God, those were funny discs. I'll have to pull the CDs out and listen to them. I still have them. But these kids will never know the joy of prank calls.
Yeah. Yeah, they won't. I mean, well, maybe some of them. I don't know. It's just not a thing anymore.
Because everything's caller ID.
Yeah, it's just not a thing anymore.
Like, there's no, and you're anonymous when you did it back in the day. Before Star 69, remember that one?
Yeah.
But even with Star 69, you just wouldn't answer the phone when they Star 69 you.
Or you push Star 67 and it blocks your number. So yeah, dude. Like we used to have good ones, man. Like we used to call the bowling alley. And, if a dude picks up the phone, you're like, yeah, do you have 10-pound balls? And he'd be like, yeah. It'd be like, how'd you get to the phone so fast?
Well, and then you got the old school Bart Simpson, hey, I'm looking for Hugh Jazz. Can you please page Hugh Jazz and come to the phone? I'm looking for a Hugh Jazz? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
The best one from The Simpsons was Amanda Hug and Kiss. He had Mo actually saying it at the bar. He's like, I'm looking for Amanda Hug and Kiss. Oh, dude. And then he finally figured it out. He's like, listen, when I find you, I'm going to kill you. Like, no, but we used to have like some funny ones, dude. Like, yeah.
You know what's funny on my turntables behind me there? One of my slip mats, I have a Jerky Boys slip mat. Right
yeah, dude.
No more Jerky Boys these days, man. Those guys can't exist anymore.
No, Frank Rizzo. Or Tarbosh, the Egyptian magician. Tarbosh was hilarious.
And you remember, like, even back in the day, like morning radio shows would do prank calls. Remember? Like, I grew up in Chicago, so B96 in Chicago. It was JB and whoever it was in the morning. Every so often they do these prank calls.
It was JB?
Huh?
It was JV?
No, JB was the guy.
Oh.
BJ or something like that.
I was going to say.
They would do these prank phone calls in Chicago. So like they'd call like the cab company with some story or something, and string these people along for a few minutes, and then end up giving them concert tickets or whatnot. But I mean, it was entertaining. It was fun. Now
we had the Doghouse, 94.9, Wild 94.9 in the Bay Area. We had the Doghouse. It was Elvis and JV, and they had this. They called it one time. They called this like hair salon, and he pretended to be like a gay dude. He's like, yeah. Do you do nut hair? He's like, I was thinking I want to get it like whipped up into like a snowman or a wreath for the holidays. Like he had this dude going like. He had this hairstylist. Oh, dude, he had him on there for like 2 or 3 minutes, just torturing him, dude. It was great.
be great, man. Oh wait, what's this one? He's called a cab company to the house across. Oh yeah, and like
Or yeah, you remember ordering pizzas to somebody's house?
I was gonna say prank pizzas because here was the thing: they'd show up next door and they'd be like, "I didn't order this pizza. I don't want this pizza." And the pizza guy's like, "Hey, I'll sell you this pizza for half price." Oh yeah, people used to do that, try to get half price or free pizza. I wish the Bears could do that with the state of Illinois' government. Did you order a stadium? No, no. Oh, would you like one for half price? Sure.
Oh,
I hate the
mhm.
off season, man. I just hate the off season sometimes.
Eh, you know, I like it. I hate that it's so long, but I like the off season because it's like, it's part of the season. Like you get to see like your new free agents, and then you got the draft. Like, how are these pieces going to fit with my team? Like, then right into training camp, and it's like, okay, let's see how they're looking together. You know what I mean? And um, then you start preseason, and it's like everybody gets their hopes up. Like,
I
oh, we
wish.
blasted those guys in preseason. Like, you know,
Well, I mean, oh, by the way, the Dolphins have said, I guess I was wrong. Oh, imagine that. I was wrong on something. Achan will not be available for trade.
yeah,
Noise
I didn't
chat.
think so. Why would you trade him? Like, I mean, I
According
get
to
why you
Jared.
would trade him because you're already, emptying the house. But you got to leave Malik Willis something, man. Like, you know, you just traded
Yeah, but
Waddle.
here's Achan going, man, I can get out of here now too. Nope, you're not going anywhere, son. Shit. Stuff.
Yeah, I feel bad for HA because now he's stuck.
C-Max tried to say that he wasn't welcome by anyone in Baltimore. He never met the head coach or GM for like 5 days, and then right to the team doctor. Wow.
Yeah, I watched his podcast. I watched the whole thing yesterday. It was like it was a fucky situation from the very start. Like he flies out there. They don't fly him into Baltimore. They fly him into DC. Then he has to get a car and drive to Baltimore. So he drives to Baltimore, and by the time he gets there, it's like night. Like late at night. So he goes to the hotel. Whatever. Him and his wife. They go to sleep in the morning. He gets up to go to the facility, right? And then they have him doing like the doctors and stuff like that. He doesn't see the GM the whole day. He doesn't meet the head coach the whole day. He's sitting there with nobody but doctors and like, staff or whatever. And like, so finally they're like, hey, you want to meet the coach? Like, he's on his way out. Like, he's already like, he's finished all the doctor stuff. And they're like, hey, you want to come upstairs and meet the coach for a minute? So he's like, yeah. So he goes up there to meet the head coach, and the GM is like in another room right next to them. And the GM comes out, and it's like when Max meets the GM, Max is like, hey man, I'm excited to be here, this and that. And the GM just gives him like, Max said the vibe was, he felt like something was just off about it. Like the GM didn't seem like genuinely excited to see him or anything like that. It was like, and then so they have him waiting, and the coach, somebody tells him like, hey, we're just waiting for the results back. There was something that came up. We don't, we're getting a second opinion on it. Don't worry, everything's good. We're still. And so they reassure him like everything's good. And then 5 minutes late, like that person leaves the room, and then 5 minutes later his agent calls him and tells him they backed out. So then he has to get on a plane. He flies back to Vegas. He gets back to Vegas at like 12:30 at night. And he just goes the following morning, 4:55 a.m. He wakes up. He goes straight to the Raiders facility, starts doing rehab, starts doing everything like he normally does.
I'll tell you what, man. I would not want to be the Ravens and end up with the Raiders on your schedule anytime soon. Because
Yeah.
if I were Max Crosby, I'd be pissed. I mean, dude, I would have been like, I don't even know if I wanted to be physical. I mean, you're Max freaking Crosby. And they just spent 2 first-round picks to get you in a trade and fly you out, and now you're going out there. And no one even greets you at the airport or greets you You know, I mean, come on, like, dude, do you remember when the Bears signed Julius Peppers?
Mhm.
Lovie Smith flew out to his home in North Carolina, knocking on his front door like, "Hey, man, you want to go? Let's go." Right? I mean, with these big time acquisitions like that, they roll out the carpet. You know what I'm saying? They do something. It
Mhm.
almost felt like they treated him like trash throughout the process.
Which lends credence to that whole they had Trey Hendrickson in their sights really the whole time anyway.
Yeah. Just, I'm sorry, the Ravens, man. Classic.
Scum franchise, dude.
Yeah.
Like, but you know what? Max was like, he's like, I learned a lesson from it. Like that's the league outside of the Raiders. He's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I wasn't supposed to be in Baltimore. He looks at it because Max. See, Max is in a Max lives his life by a certain set of principles that many of us who are sober and you're taught to look at everything as whatever happens is God's will, it's your higher power's will. So Max, he's a spiritual dude. He looks at it as I'm not in Baltimore because I wasn't supposed to be, you know. And so um and he also there was I forget who it was, one of the NFL pundits said that he actually spoke to Max and Max was like basically this is the most motivated he's ever been in his life. Like he's going to be on a revenge tour this year, dude. So
That's what I'm
if you
saying.
if you can
Like,
get odds in Vegas on a 15 sack Max Crosby season, you might want to take it, dude. Like if the over under is 12, take the over,
I
you
mean,
know?
and it's not just how they treated Mac; it's how they fucked everyone else's. You know, they messed everyone else up in the process. You know, because they took Max off the board. That's why I'm saying I hope they lose the pick. I hope the NFL sees this for what it is and says, you know what, you're losing that pick to the Raiders. They're getting the number 15 pick. You're forfeiting it. I so hope that happens to them because they deserve it. And it's just like it's such a trash move to make.
Yeah, but see, like, there's the pundits are coming out making sure to say, well, they didn't do anything illegal. It's not against the rules. Is it unethical? Is it a dick move? Yeah, but it's not
Like
illegal. It's
that
not.
stops the NFL from doing stuff like that. Like they'll come out and say, look, they got that clause about like almost like a professionalism clause. They could just it's like that catch all. The army, if I was Article 1 whatever 114 or whatever it is, it's like a catch all article, right? In the UCMJ. I mean, they'll just use a catch all article and say you're violating the spirit of the game, blah blah blah, whatever, and make them forfeit it. I mean,
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
not.
Ravens are trash, man.
I wouldn't be against that. I really don't see anything coming from it. Unfortunately, I think they should be punished, but I don't think they will be punished.
I
Like,
hope the Ravens in that division get beat by the Browns twice and end up in the basement.
see, honestly, I'm not. I don't know about the basement, but I don't think that they lost a lot of players in free agency, and I don't think Trey Hendrickson makes up for all that and adds to your team.
No, because their offense still sucks.
Like, you might be treading water, but I
And I'm
don't think.
sorry, I don't know how Lamar got the MVP twice. Because when you really think about Lamar, you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel bad trashing on Lamar, but what's Lamar really done?
I mean, he's had some great regular seasons.
Yeah, when he's running the ball, he's basically won the MVP for being a running back that sometimes throws the ball up and hopes his guy catches it. I mean, he's not.
I think his throwing has gotten much better since the beginning of his career.
Yes.
I mean, would I call him like a top five, passer as far as accuracy? No, but I think
How many
his
fourth quarter comebacks has he led?
I don't know.
That's a problem. If you can't think of at least a couple off the rip on any of these big time quarterbacks, like Joe Burrow, we've seen him with these amazing comebacks. We've seen, Caleb do it. We've even seen Jordan Love do it. We've seen Goff do it. We've seen, heck, even Kyler Murray's had a few
Even
that would go.
Derek Carr was the king of the fourth quarter comebacks, dude.
So I mean, when it comes to Lamar, you know what I'm saying? And you're right. That I mean, look at and Lamar's always gotten this. Well, who's he really got to throw to? They never really give him a receiving core there. They never I mean, they gave him Derrick Henry. Okay, great. And they gave him Derrick Henry. What happened last year? Their offense was anemic, right? Not that their
Yep.
defense didn't hurt them because it did, but their offense wasn't great. And now you lost Isaiah Likely, your best target last year, it seemed. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you
Well,
know,
they have Mark.
Lamar's like fool's gold to me in a way.
Yeah,
He's
I can see the argument.
dynamic player, yes, but if it's a fourth quarter drive, is he my first pick as a quarterback to get the ball? No. Is he even in my top 5? No. I'll take Mahomes. I'll take Allen. I'll take Burrow. I'll take
Jordan
Caleb.
Love, maybe.
Maybe Jordan Love. I would take all
Caleb
those guys.
Williams.
Yeah, I would take all those guys before Lamar
Yeah.
if I need a fourth quarter drive. I mean, heck, even JJ McCarthy had some for the little he did play had some moments like that week 1 game in Chicago. Lamar hasn't done anything like that, and he's a 2-time MVP. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, his numbers look great because the great runs. I mean, God, yeah, they were Sports Center top 10 plays. Got it. And they were exciting. Lamar still hasn't been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think this is the year either.
No, I don't know if he'll ever get to one. He may not.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And unlike Philip Rivers, it's like I think Philip Rivers is a better quarterback than Lamar. Poor Philip never got to a Super Bowl, so I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm not sure. Baltimore, man, just there were a lot of teams pissed off at Baltimore this year. I mean, usually when you look at your schedule, you get up for like, okay, I got the division champ this game. I've got good morning, Adam. You look at your schedule and you got, that's my division rival. I'm playing the Super Bowl champ. I'm playing the conference champ. People are gonna be like, oh, we got Baltimore this week. Yeah. People are getting up to play against Baltimore because of the shenanigans. Because they pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah. It sucks that they're, I don't know. I feel like they're going to walk away from that unscathed as far as NFL punishments go. And it sucks that they got away with it. But, they'll pay because the Raiders play them next year. And I'm sure that Max has Lamar's number dialed in already, dude.
I would love to see Max have like a 5-sack game on Lamar.
Couple strip sacks, like.
Yeah, just bury him. And of course, like, then we'll get Adam and the boys, and Yinzer will just be these big grins because of Steeler fans, and everyone else like, I mean, the only team that's happy this happened is Cincinnati, in a way, because they're like, Joe Burrow's like, thank God. But now he's got to face his old teammate. But I think they overpaid for Trey Hendrickson. $40 million. I mean, I know Trey Hendrickson's good and all, but after this, last year being all injured the whole year, pretty much, that's a big risk. That's a big risk for a guy north of 30, and he's not Khalil Mack. Like Khalil Mack,
I think that's crazy that they chose to pay more money for a guy that was more hurt.
Well, and here's the thing: Khalil Mack, like from jump, has been a great edge rusher from jump. He's had some down years, and by down years, he only had 7 or 8 sacks that year. That's a down year for Khalil Mack, right? But he's been consistently good his entire career. Well, not just consistently good, great for the most part of his career.
And consistently healthy for the most part too.
Trey Hendrickson has not been a consistently outstanding edge. He's been a good edge. He had one really great year as an edge, but he's not the same caliber as Mac, and Mac's getting 18 mil. And Mac, I think, is better than him, even at his older age. So that's a big risk they're taking on a guy who missed over 3/4 of the season last year to injury, who's been mired in contract controversy for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance that he comes in, he stays healthy this year, and he performs for them. But I just think with the pieces that they lost, like, I mean, it depends on what they're able to do in the draft. They have to replace a few key players, and so we'll see. But I expect them to even be as good as last year. Like, I don't expect that late mid-season to late season run that they went on last year to even be competitive in that division. I don't expect that.
Oh, I don't either. I don't think I mean, we'll see how the rest of their offseason goes, but
I think there's a good
yeah,
chance they finish with a losing record.
I'd be happy by that. And I used to like Baltimore. I mean, I've got a Baltimore shirt hanging in the closet. Well, that one was bought on necessity last year. We were in Baltimore. It was a little chilly. I had a T-shirt on, so I had to buy a long sleeve something, and the Ravens shirt happened to be the cheapest, and it actually looked pretty good. But I've got a Ravens Super Bowl hat from their the 2000 what was the last Super Bowl there?
2012.
The one in NOLA, yeah, 2012 Super Bowl. I was in NOLA during that time period, so I got a Ravens Super Bowl hat. I've got a couple Ravens helmets because I loved Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was awesome, and I've got a Hollywood Brown Ravens lid, which is funny because no sooner did I get a Hollywood Brown, he got traded to Arizona. Now, he just signed a contract the other day.
Yeah.
He's stitching together a decent career, even though he had some injury issues.
Yeah, I think he signed with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think it might have been with the Eagles, which but I used to like Baltimore to some degree.
Yeah, me too. I've always liked the way they play defense, very aggressive. And but honestly, like, I'm not that pissed off at Baltimore. Like, I mean, what they did was shitty, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to be mad at them when we got Max back. Like, I didn't want to trade Max to begin with.
There's that, yeah. So for Raiders fans, let me put it this way: for a portion Raiders fans, there is that. But for the other GMs who are going to try to maybe trade for him or do other things, that it's kind of pissy, and it's a trash move, from a trash city. I'm sorry, I don't like Baltimore as a city. I thought I'd like it more when I went there. There's not much to Baltimore. It's one of the worst big cities I've been to.
I had a buddy who lived there, and he told me it was a straight up shithole.
It is. I mean, dude, you go into the bay there. They got the little paddle boats. The water's got crap floating in it. It's just dirty. The aquarium was pretty cool. I'll give them credit there. The aquarium they have is a cool aquarium. It is a nice building. It's a little bit of a weird layout, but it's a nice building with nice displays. It was kind of cool. It was a nice park. It's a national park, I think, actually too. But I mean, it was nice, right? It was a nice aquarium, but otherwise, man, there's not much to downtown Baltimore, man. It's just kind of like it doesn't give you that good big city vibe either. I mean, you drive past the stadium, it's in the hood, man. You're like, I wouldn't even want to park my car to go here. Camden Yards looks kind of cool. I've always liked Camden Yards. I've always wanted to go to a game there, but dude, I really would not want to go to Baltimore again to visit or otherwise. I mean, I wouldn't fly, and flying in a BWI is not bad, but that's because you don't have to see the city. You can actually just go a little bit north and go to the capital. You know what I'm saying? But Baltimore, So I guess a trash move made by a team in a trash city. There we go.
Yeah, and believe me, there were a lot of Raider fans that were pissed. But I think a lot of Raider fans were pissed because Max wanted out, And so we were like, okay, they finally had accepted the trade. Like, okay, we got good compensation for him. Let him go, you know? And then all of a sudden he's back. And it's like, so there were fans that were mad both at Max Crosby and at Baltimore. Like, they're like, we don't want this dude now. Like, he already said
Yeah.
he wants to leave. And, you know, there's still a little bit of a contingent of that where
Dude, there's still a
some Raider
contingent.
fans.
There's still a contingent of Bears fans who think Justin Fields should still be the quarterback in Chicago.
Yeah. But I think most Raider fans have accepted the fact that Max is back. I think he did a good job with his PR of you know, doing a mea culpa and, like, you know, recommitting himself, which
I mean, I
is what Raider
understand,
fans wanted to hear.
but I mean, look, I can understand where Max was and why he wanted out. And then I can understand why Max is like, after this debacle, is like, you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought. And look, he's human, he's emotional, and the emotions got him at the end of the year last year. I get it. And Vegas has had its ups and downs and turmoil, and because we can't say it hasn't, because the Raiders have. I get where he was, and I wouldn't call it damage control, Dre. Really, I'd call it, like, it was a wake up call for him. Like, it's like, you go to Baltimore, they treat you kind of like the redheaded stepchild, even though they just traded 2 first-round picks for you. You think they'd be happy to see you, but no, they treat you like the redheaded stepchild. And
Mhm.
like, when they say, well, we're just not going to do a deal, and you get back on an airplane to fly home, it's like, you know what?
Yeah, and then you think about the fact that the Raiders have always rolled out the red carpet for Max. They've done
Yeah.
they've given him raises when they didn't have to. Just like, hey, you know what, Max, you've done so much for us. Like, we're going to give you an extra $6 million this year, just because,
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
we're going to
that's
give
the
you.
thing. Max is like, I get where he was, his headspace. I kind of do. And it's like, so if you're a Raiders fan and you're mad because Max wanted out, well, first off, you should be mad he wanted out because, dude, your team was completely dysfunctional last year with the schemes, the coaches, to a degree, the front office. I totally get why Max was like, and you're a competitor and you want to compete, and now you got this coach who hasn't played you right all year, saying, well, you're going to be shut down and we're not going to let you play. And you're Max Crosby, a guy who wants to bleed it out in the field every week. So that's a hard pill to swallow. So you're pissed off about that because in the past that wouldn't have happened. But then you go to Baltimore and you're like, they treat me like crap. And then it makes you really appreciate
Mhm.
what you had in Vegas. When he gets back to Vegas, he's like, man, thank God that didn't happen. I'm home.
Yeah, I mean, because he has, he whether his relationship with Spytech is good or not, he has an open line of communication. He can go to Spytech anytime. He can call him anytime. He's he's with Mark. He's straight
Yeah.
up said, Mark, I love Mark Davis. He's like, me and him, we've been on the same page like since day one. We get each other, and we're
Caleb,
friends. And so it's like, for me, I think that was a big part of it. And I'm willing to take the bait. I'm willing to swallow the hook and say, hey, maybe Max did have a change of heart because he sees how the Raiders treated him versus how the Ravens treated him. And it's like, man, I had a good thing going here. Like, and I understand where Max was coming from, why he wanted to leave. Like, you can't rebuild year after year after year and just, continue to put the kind of effort in that he does and with no reward. I get it. But
I guess so, Joe. You should be happy that it wasn't the Bears that got him. Caleb was lobbying hard.
yeah, I'm glad he didn't leave. But I also the thing that bothered me about Max wanting out, like, he made it seem like it was because we tanked the last 2 games without him, right? Like,
Right.
and we absolutely did tank. And we ended up getting to win one of those games and still get the number 1 pick. We beat the Chiefs, still got the number 1 pick, right? But I was upset with Max's lack of vision. Like, it's like you've been complaining that it's a rebuild year after year after year. We never have a quarterback. Here we finally did the one thing that, I get it. It gives you a sick taste in your mouth to have to tank 2 games, right? That's not what you're about. But if you look at it for the greater good of the organization, we're finally going to get that franchise quarterback that's going to help you on this mission that you have. You want to win in Vegas. Well, you can't do it without a franchise quarterback. And now by making that one move that sticks in your, gives you a sour taste in your mouth, the Raiders are going to get that piece that they've been missing. So that for me, I was like, Max, why don't you see the vision? Like, I don't understand why you don't understand why that was necessary, just to get the guy in the building that's going to help you to win here, so, but I get, he was just burned out, and, he was, like you said, he's an emotional guy, um, but I'm glad it didn't work out, because I never really wanted to get rid of Max. You know that. I've been saying it. Like, I finally got to the point where I was like, look, if this is what he really wants, then let him go. Let him go try to win a championship. He deserves that. But I never really wanted him to leave. Well, that's the thing, is that the Raiders sold those last two games for a lottery pick, man. And they know that, but would you rather them not? Would you rather them come in with and grab another scab quarterback? Like, no, Max is back on the Raiders, and the Raiders have said they're not trading him. They've come out since then and said that he's not available for trade, but that doesn't stop teams from calling.
I mean, Steve, the number one picks are the worst picks. I mean, I don't know. I like number one pick. Number one pick, so I could get first round picks in general. Look at the hit rate on picks is not great. And every team's had huge busts in the first round. Every team has had some really big, like Tony Mandarich, massive bust, right? I mean, there have been big number one busts. Look at quarterbacks how many quarterbacks, first round quarterbacks, have cycled through the league, even in the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
How's he gonna be a free agent? He's under contract for a couple years, dude.
No,
no.
Max is under contract for like another 2 or 3 years, dude.
Yeah, he's not gonna be a free agent. But I mean, how does this trade now or lack of trade affect the Raiders? Well, their defense is really, really good now on paper with the additions they made. Now, how does it affect their ability to build that offense up quickly, right? Because now you don't get that extra pick, you don't have the extra money, so that may slow up their offensive overhaul. But your defense, oof.
Yeah, and the defense is going to be good enough. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Why the Raiders? Why would they release him and take all that dead cap for no reason? Like, he's on a team-friendly contract. They've already absorbed his cap hit into their cap this year. To cut him would make no sense whatsoever.
Mitch wants him to be a Lion. Is what it
is. Yeah, I get it, but that's not going to happen, dude.
Fields backing up Mahomes. Interesting thing with the Fields trade. So the Packers, I guess, offered a better deal to the Jets than Kansas City. Kansas City was not the best offer, but they gave Fields the opportunity to say, "Hey, where would you like to go?" And he said Kansas City. I mean, I would too if I was Justin Fields in a way. So it's funny, Fields once again. Think about it. He has controlled his destiny all the way through except the draft. He couldn't control the Bears drafting him. But since then, when the Bears traded him, he picked where he went. Then he picked where he went as a free agent. Now he's picked where he's been traded to again. I think him backing up Mahomes is good for him because of the coaching, the system. I think he could flourish and resurrect his career in Kansas City because Fields is not a bad quarterback, but he's not a great one, but he's not a bad quarterback either. Every year his numbers have improved. His accuracy numbers have improved. His yards, he's progressed. He hasn't had that breakthrough moment yet. Maybe that happens in KC. I don't know. It's
Well,
possible.
I think there's a good chance he's starting the season for KC. Like I'm not so sure that Mahomes is going to be game one.
Well, I think he's good to start the first couple games for KC.
I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
No, Mitch, people say things, but there's just no way that the Raiders are going to release him. It would make no sense for them to take on all that dead cap to lose an all-pro player for nothing.
Well, I heard St. Brown is going to be a free agent tomorrow too. That's how ludicrous that statement is, Mitch. I mean,
yeah, but to his credit, though, Mitch is not making the statement. He's saying that he heard somebody else make the statement.
But dude, like, come on, that one doesn't pass a sniff test, man. That's like the Lions saying they're going to release St. Brown tomorrow because I don't know, he's had an existential crisis and they won't speak German to him. I mean, it's just like Max Crosby. You just try to trade him for 2 number 1 picks, 2 first-round picks. Why would you then cut him and get nothing and take all the dead cap? It would make
exactly.
zero sense.
It doesn't make it doesn't make any sense at all.
So, like, I would read an article like that and be like, whoever wrote that's stupid. Or let me use the proper word. Whoever wrote that's a retard.
Highly regarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Justin Fields and Kyler Murray. I think Kyler is better because he could throw the ball better. But, I mean, Fields, I think I agree with Ken on this one. I think Kansas City is the perfect place. If Fields is going to resurrect his career anywhere, it's going to be under Andy Reid, dude. If Andy Reid can't fix him, then we know Justin Fields is just not meant to be a starting NFL quarterback. I still think he's good enough to be a backup for the rest of his career. Like, if he doesn't pan out in Kansas City, I think, somebody will continue to pick him up on a $10 million, $5 million deal.
That's interesting you say that, Joe, because, like, the Bears, for as QB problematic as we've been, dude, Mitch Trubisky, still in the league.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, still in the league. How many first-round busts are out of the league within 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
These guys are still in the league, still getting contracts. They still have some value.
Yeah. And I think Fields has value, especially if you want to use Fields for other things besides, just starting him as a quarterback. I mean, you can run all kinds of gadget plays with him. Okay, I know that this is the NFL and anything can happen, but I don't. Are you trying to make the argument, Steve, that it's possible that the Raiders are going to cut Max Crosby and take on all that dead cap for absolutely nothing? Because I'm sorry, I don't see that as being possible.
Well,
I guess it's possible. It's possible in the way that I could get simultaneously struck by lightning while a shark is biting my nuts. Like, it's theoretically possible.
While on land in California.
Yeah, while on land, I suppose that's theoretically possible, but it's not like, let's put it that way. Like, I would put it at less than 1%. Now, if you were to say the Raiders could still end up trading Max Crosby by training camp, okay, there's a possibility with that. I could see that happening.
Sure, if someone gives them an offer they can't refuse, sure, it could happen. Mitch says he'd sign either, he's meaning Trubisky or Fields, as my second to third string backs. Well, Mitch, you need a backup quarterback there in Detroit. And I'm sorry, Goff is another guy. What's Goff really done? He went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, choked. You guys had that phenomenal season 2 years ago. You get to the playoff, he choked. Goff is not I'm not trying to say Goff is trash, but is Goff another Kirk Cousins, except maybe he's got a 1 or 2 playoff wins more?
Dude, you better be careful, Ken. Mitch is already punching holes in the drywall right now. No, look, Mitch, I don't necessarily disagree with you there, and I know what you're talking about. Yeah, trading him, yeah, that makes sense. It's a possibility. Absolutely, it can happen. I don't think they will, because if they were to trade him after Max just came back and like fully recommitted himself and said, this is where I belong, it's kind of a bad look for the Raiders to say like, oh yeah, well, you know, we're glad that you want to be here, but now we're going to go ahead and trade you anyway. Then they become the dicks. I don't see them doing that, especially when, you know, you have an all pro player that, you know, wants to play for you. Like, but the other side of that is the what Mitch is talking about that the Ravens saw is that it was a significant meniscus tear, and so it damaged the cartilage and the bone around that meniscus. And so the Ravens are worried about that long term because there's cartilage and bone damage as well. So Max's knee, like, it's going to be a candidate for replacement at some point, like down the road, you know?
Hey, Mitch, you just made Broski's argument because Dak puts up great regular season numbers. I mean, that's not like. Look at this. I love arguing with Mitch about golf. In big games, golf chokes. Yeah, he puts up great numbers, but in big games, he chokes. Choked in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago. He choked in the home playoff game against the Commanders. He choked in the Super Bowl when he was the Ram. In big games, he chokes like Dak. So you know what? It's completely, if you think about it, Mitch, it is complete. You know, we say, well, Lamar can't win the big game. Josh Allen can't seem to win the big game, but we can't say that about Goff? Oh, hell yeah, we can. Hell yeah, we can. Goff can't win the big game. He's proven it multiple times.
Yeah.
Plus one of those is a pick six, broski.
Yeah.
Like
Steve,
Goff is a good quarterback. Not saying he's not. So
Yeah.
you know, if you're a Lions fan, get that out of your head. We're not saying he's a bad quarterback.
no,
Look at the
he's
way that,
good, not great,
yeah,
in my
like
opinion.
the way the Lions fans and other fans would talk about Kirk Cousins when he was in Minnesota, or we talk about Dak. Dude, Goff deserves that same conversation.
Fair. He's a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. So,
Well,
in my
it's
opinion,
other people dropping the ball, Mitch. Okay.
yeah. So I wanted to address Steve's comment though.
Golf sexual. You know, he's called just sexuals. He's a golf sexual.
A Jared sexual.
A Jared sexual.
So look, dude, Steve, I agree with you. I think that the Raiders are. It looks like they are being built back to prominence again. I think it's too early to say. You know, I'm not making any predictions as far as, you know, I'm not going to predict that they're going to make the playoffs or something crazy. Like, I do expect them to at least double their win total from last year. At least, I think 7 wins is realistic with the roster that they currently have, and the new coaching. But I agree with you. I like the long-term vision. Like, I like they had to spend a whole bunch of money in free agency to get compliant with the 90% spending rule. So they went out and they got some of the best free agents in the class. And what I really liked about what they did is that they didn't go get the guys that are 29, 30, 31. They got the guys that are 25, 26. They're building, even their free agents are young. So the Raiders are a young team if you look at it. Like, they have a couple of older players like Colton Miller. I guess Max Crosby could be considered an older player. I don't know, dude. Like, but I like the vision. I like what they're doing. You know, they're building the team out with young players, and it doesn't always pay off with young players. It takes a couple of years, but when you finally do, it's like you have a team for 5, 6, 7 years that can compete. So I like the vision.
Now, Mitch, I don't want you to end up back in the hospital with more heart issues. All right, I don't want to put you back there, but dude, take a breath, count to 10, do a little woo-saw, woo-saw, woo-saw. Grab those earlobes. Do it with me, Mitch. Woo-saw. Look it. We're not saying Goff is ass quarterback. We're saying that he should get the same treatment.
He's still on it.
Yeah, as Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, and other quarterbacks who, yeah, have put up great numbers in the regular season, but can't win the big game.
Oh, Mitch, I got you. Look, I got mad respect for you, Mitch. You're a diehard Lions fan, but I gotta tell you, like, you have Stockholm syndrome really bad, dude. You know what Stockholm syndrome is? It's where you like where people who are kidnapped, they eventually like start to sympathize with their kidnapper, and they'll even defend their kidnapper. Like Goff, it has not. He's not taken you to the promised land, and you're sitting here going out of your way to defend this dude, and it's like you don't realize that he's kind of what's hurting you at this point.
Well, I mean, look at Goff puts up some good numbers in a really, really good offense.
Yeah, but his cap
When he
number
had
is
Ben
monstrous.
Johnson, when he had Ben Johnson as coordinator, oh my God, he put up some gaudy numbers. I agree, Mitch. He put up some gaudy numbers with Ben as his coordinator. Last year, not so much. The offense kind of faltered a little bit. But I mean, how many like fourth quarter comebacks do you see Goff engineering himself? Like how often do you see that? You really don't. Now, some of that's situational because, well, he hasn't been in the situation. So I'll give some credit there. But like, and he's your quarterback, so I get your blind faith and allegiance to him. I get that. I mean, look, when Fields was the Bears quarterback, I had some of that. Fields, that's my quarterback. I get it. Right? Right? No one's saying he's ass. He's a good quarterback, just like Kirk Cousins was a good quarterback, just like Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, just like, you ready for this one, Joe? Lamar Jackson has been a good quarterback. He's won the MVP twice. But here's what's the same with all those guys? They all have the same stigma, whether you want to admit it or not, Mitch. Cannot win the big game. Now, of all those guys, he's actually been to the big game once when he was a Ram and he choked. You looked at the last playoff game the Lions were in. He choked. The 4 or 5 picks he had with the pick six did not help your cause there. Like, Goff is a very good quarterback if protected. I think any NFL quarterback is good, but he's better than the average if you give him a clean pocket. The dude can pick you apart with a clean pocket better than most quarterbacks in a similar situation can. But he should get the Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott treatment. He really should.
Yeah. And when I talk about the Stockholm syndrome, I'm a victim of that as well, because when Derek Carr was our quarterback for 9 years, I swore up and down it was everybody but him. It was everything but Derek Carr. And then finally I realized, you know what? Derek Carr is actually what's holding us back. Like, it's not that Derek Carr is a bad quarterback. He's a good quarterback. The problem is, to win the big games in the NFL, you have to have a great quarterback. That's the thing. Quarterbacks don't really win the big games unless, like, for example, you're Trent Dilfer and you have that 2000 Ravens defense, like, which was giving up 7 to 10 points a game. Like, you know what I mean?
Joe, let me put this in a different perspective. You know what you want to see out of Goff? You're going to want to see what Caleb did to the Packers last year. When do you see Goff do that kind of shit? Like, improbable game that you probably have no business winning yet. You either win it or he gets you to a point where you have the opportunity to win it. Like, you don't see that with Goff, that X factor piece where if he's on the field, you're like, oh, he's got the ball, we got a shot. You don't get that with Goff. In the big games with the big pressure, he doesn't look as good. I mean, when was the last time you saw Goff have a game like Caleb did against the Packers in the
playoffs? Well, Mitch, I can see that we're banging our heads against the wall here trying to bring you to the light. But Steve, right now, That's an excellent question. I don't know who the Raiders' number one wide receiver is. They don't have one. They have Jalen Naylor, who's going to be probably the number two or probably the number two because they'll want Betch to slide in as the number three. They don't really have a number one. I hope they're not going to try to use Naylor as a number one. But they have Bowers. I think right now Bowers is their number one wide receiver. And, I expect the Raiders are going to try to run the ball heavy this year. I think that offense is going to empty a lot more than it's going to flow through Mendoza. Like, I think they'll want to keep him to 20, 25, 20 throws a game and Genty run the ball.
Let me ask this question right now. If you had your quarterback, are you taking Jared Goff or Caleb Williams?
Right now, Caleb. If you would have asked me before last year, I would have said Goff, but nah, Caleb's on the ascension, dude. Like, he's getting better as the time goes on, and Goff is still, playing well. He's still there, but like the Lions overall, I think are losing pieces, and I don't think the pieces that they're adding are as good as the pieces that they're losing.
I would, in this last statement he said,
You could say the same about Burrow. I guess he went to the big game and he didn't win. Although I don't know that I would call it he choked. Burrow played out of his mind in that game, dude.
yeah. I mean Lamar, I would definitely agree with more than Burrow and Allen, because with Allen, this is what happened with Allen every year. He gets them the lead. It goes, okay, defense, 45 seconds, man. You just have to keep them out scoring for 45 seconds. Defense, can you handle that? And every year the defense is gone. Nope, we can't. So
Yeah.
Goff doesn't have that. See, that's the thing. That's the difference there with that argument. Like, I could definitely agree with that with Allen on that, or with Lamar. But Burrow and Allen, like those dudes, go get their team the win the game winning score with 40 seconds left, and go defense, dude. 40 seconds. Come on, man. You can hold them for 40 seconds, and the defense says, "Here, hold my beer." Nope.
Yeah. Although last year, I think that was Allen's fault. Absolutely, that the playoff
Yeah.
game.
And he admitted to it. He said it was his fault. At the post game, he's like, "This one was on me. I screwed this one up." But all the other times was, dude, Allen got, how many times did he have to sit there on the sideline, watch Mahomes march him down the field with 35 seconds left, and beat
Dude,
him going, what the hell do I have to do?
yeah. I mean, you can't do any more than Josh Allen has done for that team, dude. Like year after year, like it's just
Look, even Broski is saying Caleb is better than Goff, and he's not a Caleb fan.
Burrow was better than 2 drops away from winning. Burrow only lost by a score, and it's because Aaron Donald got in the backfield because he had a terrible offensive line and basically strip sacked him on that last play. But Burrow had his team in a position to drive down the field and win the game.
Let's do this. So, all right, we already did Caleb versus Goff. Caleb won that one in the comments and from the guys on camera right now. If you had Goff or Lamar, who do you take?
Man, the easy answer would be to say Lamar, right? But because everyone's going to say, well, he has 2 MVP. But honestly, it depends on what kind of game I'm playing. Like, it depends on the team's run defense. Like, if I'm going up against, let's say, the Bucks from last year, where it's going to be like a shootout, I want Goff because Goff is going to be able to throw 45 times a game and keep me in the game. If it's a running team, or let's say, the example that would be a good. If I'm playing the Steelers, for example, like I want Lamar. His running ability gives me an added dimension to my offense that, the Steelers, even as athletic as they are on defense, they can't really match that. Like, so it just, for me, it would depend.
I agree with that. I think if I have a good offensive line, I take Goff over Lamar all day, because Goff is going to pick apart offenses or defenses much better than Lamar does if you can protect them. But if I want the dynamic playmaker, I go with Lamar. Josh Allen or Goff?
Josh Allen, hands down.
Same here.
But it's becoming ability. Like throwing wise, they both can throw the touchdowns. They both can do all that. But Josh Allen adds that other dimension to his game where, like he's more of a weapon.
Joe Burrow or Goff?
Oh, that's Joe Burrow by a mile, dude. But that's not a knock on Goff. It's just that I really think Joe Burrow is the best. Hands down, in my opinion, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL. I think he's the second coming of Joe Montana, being honest with you. He just doesn't have the team that Montana had around him.
Let's make him a little more interesting. Dak Prescott or Goff?
Mitch, you honestly take Goff over Burrow? That's all we need to hear, bro. Like you're on your own on that one, dude.
If I go, I would maybe take Goff over Dak to a degree.
Yeah, I would take Goff over Dak.
But like, would I take Goff over Love? No, I don't think I would. Money wise, I would, because okay, so I mean, look at that's one thing where Mitch is right. For 38 mil, dude, that's a good price for that quarterback. I mean, for 38 mil, his contract is good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting their value out of that 38 mil for a starting quarterback that puts up the numbers he puts up during the regular season. I mean, yes. I mean, on that aspect, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Dre Hardy takes Dak. He takes Dak over Goff. Hey, let's go in the chat real quick. Who are you guys taking, Goff or Burrow? Let's just take a little poll. Can't say shit ever again about Davenport or Eddie Lion. Oh, dude. So you think that saying Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL is an insane take? I mean, I could understand if somebody said, like, I don't think he's the best, but to say it's an insane take, like.
Oh, they're getting political now.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like, we're getting political now because Mitch called him a liberal. And, yeah, he's not a liberal, dude.
Burrow is hurt more than Davenport.
Yeah, but that's because he has no offensive line to protect him. But when Burrow is healthy, he's the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. So, do we have it? Do we have the poll in? Has everybody made their decision? Burrow is off.
Burrow. Everyone is saying Burrow. Like, I guess the other question would be: will the Lions ever win a Super Bowl with Jared Goff as quarterback? And right now, looking at the way this team is built this season, I'm going to say odds are not good.
No. And that's not a knock. Like I said, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's just not great. Like he's not an all-time great kind of guy. Like here's
the question: is Goff going to be a Hall of Famer? He's got enough season under his belt now. You can start to kind of, see where the writing may be.
Numbers wise, possibly. Like if he plays a few more years and has high numbers, like he might be on that Phillip Rivers category where he gets in based off his career stats, but accomplishments wise, no.
I don't know if Goff would get in. I think Burrow would get in. Allen would get in. Lamar might get in. Well, he wouldn't. He won't be a first ballot.
But I'm delusional, right? Oh, dude.
Well, I like the way Broski breaks this down. Look at the Rams get rid of, as he calls him, Goof for Stafford. The Rams immediately win a Super Bowl, right? And actually, since then, right, Goff has been to one NFC Championship game and lost. The Rams went pretty deep in the playoffs last year, get into an NFC Championship game. And he lost, but he's been to more NFC Championship games than Goff has been in the same time period. And he's 1-1. but he immediately got a ring. I mean, dude.
We're out of time, dude.
Yeah, we are. Hey, JV is next, man. This was fun. This is what's great about having fun days is we run out of time. Checking JB, Mitch, go tell JB how mean we were to you this morning. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.